Today I'm going to show you how I made my Eurovision song for 2024. For those of you who are new here, my name is Julian Guba and I'm a singer-songwriter-producer from Austria, Vienna, and I entered my song to the internal Eurovision selection in 2024. Obviously I didn't get chosen, but I did achieve quite a good position, and today I'm going to show you how I produced the song. If you don't know the song yet, it's called Amy Ivy and this is it.
Amy Ivy, what do you do when you're tired? I don't believe that it's tears when you cry.
And you can stream it in the first link in the description. Today is quite the special day because the song has finally reached 100,000 streams on Spotify. Woo! So thank you guys so much. And since I do everything myself, from writing to producing to mixing, today I'm going to take you through the whole process from the initial inspiration to the final mix, and we're going to look at all the stems. But before I show you the individual stems, let me tell you a bit about how Amy Ivy came to be. So the idea of Amy Ivy started back in early 2023. I remember I forced myself to go on a walk to get some inspiration and see what kind of song I could write next. It was during the time when AI and ChatGPT started to become really popular. If any of you have ever tried to make something with ChatGPT, whether it be lyrics or anything other creative, you would know that it sucks balls. I kind of toyed around with it and nothing ever really came of it, but then that got me to the idea, hey, if this is such a thing on the rise currently, AI is probably going to be all around us in a couple of years, so why not write a song about AI? And that's exactly what I did, and I took inspiration from my own song, Carolyn. If you don't know that song, it's playing right now.
Carolyn, she's so sweet. Drops of bleach might have killed her sister.
It's my most successful song, and it's about a girl who takes drugs. So why not write a song about a girl who's a robot? Prior to that walk, I had come up with the idea that I really want to make a song with these chords. Most basic 4 chords ever. It's not the 4 chords, but they're very basic. There's a couple of other songs that I was really inspired by that share this exact chord progression, which are, for example, like my favorite song going round around my head, na 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 na, or la 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 la, la 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 la. You get the point. So I had these chords down, but then I also knew I needed a very catchy melody. And if you've ever listened to Carolyn, you would know it's these 3 notes. Yeah, literally in those 3 memorable notes, I say the title of the song. So I was like, I need to do this again. I knew the title of the song had to be the name of the girl that was supposed to be the robot, and it had to have a catchy melody. And I came up with so these 4 notes. I was like, okay, this is gonna be, I'm gonna make this catchy. And so these were 4 notes, so I knew the name of the AI girl had to be 4 syllables. So I did a huge amount of brainstorming to find a name which had 4 syllables, but at the same time, my brain was really big braining. I wanted the name to have the initials of AI, because AI, artificial intelligence, yeah. So yeah, after a long while, I came up with Amy Ivy. And as I said, this was early 2023, so there were no plans to send this into Eurovision at all. I'd actually created a totally separate song for that, and it was called Our Song. Let's see if I'm gonna put a snippet in here. Yeah, and basically I sent that to the Eurovision team from Austria, and they said that I should send another song because it's probably not gonna be chosen. So I did make another song, and in those 2 weeks that I had left before the submission was over, I recreated Amy Ivy from scratch. And the rest is history. And I think now we're going to look into the stems. So here we have the beautiful, super messy project file. So I think we're going to start with the most obvious thing about this song, which was the bass line. Just like the song title and the whole idea of singing about a girl, it's also inspired by my song Carolyn. We can hear that that's the same bass sound, basically. So I tried replicating that as close as possible because, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What's noteworthy about this bass is that it's very slap housey. This is a typical slap house bass. However, slap house usually does certain offsets in between the bass notes so that when the bass hits, it doesn't always hit with the main melody. And that's done just to evoke more the idea of this is a slap bass, you know. But I decided, for whatever reason, to have it literally be on the same melody and rhythm as, if we listen to the vocals here together.
Amy Ivy, what do you do when you're tired? tired.
I tried going for a sound that's kind of simplistic there and not too overly complicated. And then the bass in the drop only changes minimally. It goes from this slap house bass to this. You hear this underlying Reese bass. So this is basically just an added layer to have a smoother sounding section in the song where the bass is accompanied with another constant bass, basically. And besides that, the bass pretty much stays the same, which leads me to the bass and the synths in the first verse.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, and a beautiful smile.
So you hear the synths in the background there. I tried to go there for a very plucky sound, for something very short and staccato-like. Yet again, I just wanted to keep things very precise and simple sounding. It's kind of got this legato going and it's a little bit distorted. And that mixed with these plugs. I thought that was a very interesting way to start, and the drums kind of reflect that preciseness as well, because during the verse here, there's only very minimalistic drums happening. So it's literally just super basic claps happening, which also help create the staccato feeling. And then we get into the second part of the verse. Here I tried to make everything pick up the pace a little bit, so a kick starts happening. This sounds very techno-y, actually. And there's this interesting thing happening in the second part of the verses. You hear that? Very, yet again, very staccato. I keep repeating myself, but it's very... The actual inspiration of this staccato bass was Ilo Milo by Billie Eilish. Here we got a nice ambience. Here we actually have the stem I titled El Diablo piano. If you guys are Eurovision watchers, you might know which piano I tried to replicate here. The verse is kind of giving a very haunting vibe, and it's quite serious. It sounds quite serious, so I added this piano because I felt like this would fit super well. I actually was inspired a lot by El Diablo here, the Cyprus 2021 entry, which has a similar thing happening.
There is something you don't know.
When I did the version for Eurovision, they told me I got to remove the gated effect, the stutter. Which I really loved that effect, and they told me we wouldn't be able to replicate that live at Eurovision, which I guess fine, but like, let me keep it in the background vocals at least. No, but I did remove it. But then for, you know, when they declined me, I had all the reason to put it back in, because I loved it. Accompanied with a vocoder there.
Something you don't know.
In the second verse, something interesting happens again here. It's those whips in the background, which were also heavily inspired by El Diablo 2021 Cyprus, because she's also got that whoosh. And it had nothing to do with the song, but I just thought it sounded freaking cool. And yet again, the second part of the second verse here is a little bit more intensified. I forgot I made that piano thing. Oh my god, that's so cute. Listen. Oh, kind of melancholic. Just want to cry. I'm a good producer, y'all. It's so interesting. I actually, it's been a long time since I listened to this, to the instrumental of this song anyway. So yeah, wow. I really put effort into this. And then another main part of the song which cannot be forgotten is the drop. The main synth I used in this drop is very much inspired by Alan Walker. If you've ever listened to or read any of my interviews I made online, I have 3 favorite artists, and that being Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga, and Alan Walker. In the second drop, there is actually this vocal chop coming in, and I'm going to expose myself now a little bit because this is actually me singing it like an octave way higher than I should be able to sing.
Bombastic side
When you cry. Yeah, I had this idea for the vocal chop because of the song More Than You Know by Axwell and Ingrosso. Because during the drop of that song, it has also a kind of brassy synth going on. I always imagined, I'm not sure if they actually did it, but I imagined in that song that they have a vocal chop that sings the main melody along with the synth, and it's very faintly in the background. And I was inspired by that. That's why I have these here. Also, I did something like that in Carolyn as well. If we listen to the drums in the drop, very simplistic. This is super beginner stuff. I tried to keep everything as simplistic as possible. So you literally hear the harsh transient of the hats. You hear that there's just a shaker underneath, nothing more. And effects and claps, and that's it. If we get to the bridge, listen to only the drums, I got this break beat going on, which interestingly enough sounds quite similar to what we ended up sending to Eurovision, Colleen. This reminds me a lot of that, but I did it individually. I was not inspired by that, but yeah, interesting. What a funny coinkydink. If we listen to the last drop, everything comes together there, and that was actually a really tough challenge to mix because I sing on top of basically every other instrumentation there is in the song already. About the vocals, I can still say something.
It's long lights on, she knows every song. Blends in, stands out, always gathers a crowd. When you see her, you wanna be her. Can't believe her, such a diva. I can't help but hate the way she's making me feel.
I put a lot of effort into that, so it's literally just my voice and then layered with a bunch of other background vocals.
She knows every song. Blends in, stands out, always gathers a crowd. When you see her, you wanna be her. Can't believe her, such a diva. I can't help but.
How interesting. I don't think I ever want to listen to that without the main vocals again. These vocals I had to re-record like at least 6 times as a whole because I actually developed some vocal issues over the past years, which I'm only now figuring out how to deal with, and I'm getting all the checkups with the doctors and everything. But back then I struggled and I did not know what was going on with my voice, and it was getting fatigued so easily when in the past I was able to sing for hours. And it was kind of at the height of that is when I had to record the vocals for the Eurovision demo. When I performed it live in front of them, my voice was also super strained. And when I listen back to that performance now, I'm like, what the hell? Because even at that time I was able to sing much better, but it was, I don't know, man. It was a time. I think overall that's kind of it. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of behind the scenes look into what my usual songs consist of. If you're interested, maybe someday I can make an even further detailed tutorial on maybe how to get stuff to sound like this. And last but not least, I really want to thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for giving this song 100,000 streams on Spotify. I'm beyond grateful, seriously. As I already mentioned, I make everything myself. I make the music, I produce it, I mix it, I master it, I do everything. I don't even have a label, I'm completely independent. So having my music actually resonate with so many people, I'm so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, maybe we'll see each other rather sooner than later with some more new music. I hope you guys stay tuned. Bye guys.